This space was downloaded via spacesdown.com. Visit to download your spaces today.
Good morning, everybody. Can you guys hear me okay? Can hear you, man. Hey, how's it doing, Shapeshift? Morning.
Unbelievable. You wouldn't believe me.
Good. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Hey, a little early here. Let's share this space. Let's get some people in here. I'm having trouble inviting people. I know we had Cal and some others that wanted to come up here and speak. So I want to get some people up here. But please share the space. Let's get some people in here. We got a lot of things to talk about. We're doing very, very well. I could not be more happy with the progress that we're making as an entire ecosystem. THORChain, Maya Protocol, Rujira, Mocha. It's all going very, very well. Super happy.
Hey, Patriot, if you need a co-host, I'll offer my unskilled labor and DM me a list of who you want to invite, and I'll hammer that out for you. No pressure.
Here, yeah.
Yeah, it went mute for about 12 seconds, but you're back.
I don't know what's going on. That's okay. So yeah, I can get you up here. Let me get, you know how it is when it comes to this stuff. Okay, I'm going to invite you as co-host. I never feel bad about this stuff because even the most technically savvy people struggle with X. So, and I seen there you are. Okay, there we go. Now it's working. All right. So
there's no feelings. There's no feelings in math or science.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah, if you want to try, I sent you a co-host invite. If you want to try to get Cal, Mocha, or anyone up here, invite them. Go ahead, because it's not working for me. I don't know why. But anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead. Okay, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I'm going to move on. If there's anyone here also from the Rujira system, ecosystem, and they want to come up and give just a quick update of what's going on, you know, I'm a general educator, so it's very difficult for me to keep up to date on all the nuances and all the different things that are happening between not only the interfaces, but, you know, our new family, Rujira and Mocha. So I really wanted to get people a sense of all the good things that are happening because it's quite enormous. THORChain specifically, guys. Let me see. Oh, we have someone requesting here. THORChain University. Awesome. Awesome. I hope, is that you, Baloney Bones?
It sure is.
What's going on, man?
Good to see you.
Yeah, dude, it's so nice to talk to you. I don't get to talk to you very often, so this is a treasure. Hey, man, give us an update. What's going on, dude, over at THORChain University?
So we are going to be changing our clothes, and we're going to be rebranding to as requested by the THORChain Treasury that we need to or they've requested that we kind of do what we once did back in 2021 2022 was kind of be the house of the community as we once were, and kind of to offload a lot of that noise that's happening in the dev Discord. And we're just about ready to unroll our branding. We just got the zip file, I think, yesterday. We got all the materials, so we'll be doing that probably within the next 48 hours. We'll be changing our name to basically the THORChain community, and we'll become the THORChain community hub. And we hope to initiate and execute kind of a large funneling from folks in the dev Discord, who, you know, back in the day everybody was in our Discord server, and I guess we did really well and we taught everybody everything, and everybody kind of shoveled their way over to the dev Discord. And what we're trying to realize is kind of a rolling back to us, so that we can kind of manage the community with a dedicated attention, rather than the devs trying to juggle, you know, I don't know, 18 things at once. Probably 180, more like it. But so we're trying to take that role, and assume that role again, and reestablish ourselves as kind of a dedicated way that we can manage conversations and guide narratives and answer questions. And we've got the experts. I mean, you're one of them in there. So
I am.
that's what we're up to. And we've been really busy behind the scenes, like, despite not being so active publicly. We are about to, you know, Phoenix like everything else.
Yeah, I've been watching you, man. You've been working really, really hard. And guys, this is something about Baloney Bones that I think that goes underappreciated. He is one of the guys who is just always in the background, just working like a cog in the machine. And during a lot of the drama that we've gone through, you know what I mean? He was one of the guys that just immediately got in the trenches and just starting writing articles and getting the community to understand contextually what's going on. So yeah, he's great, and I want you guys, please, actually, Baloney Bones, if you don't mind, if you could share a link in the comments for the Discord, because this is good, because I've said this before, and I'm gonna keep saying it. It was the community, and when I mean community, I mean devs, I mean interfaces, other people from like my protocol, which, as everyone knows, is THORChain's hot Mexican girlfriend, right? Very important. You know, it was all of us that helped save THORChain. It wasn't necessarily me or any particular person. We did it together. So the community, in my mind, is the most powerful element of our wider ecosystem. It is essential. You can't have one without the other. THORChain, my protocol, Rujira, we are people. We're not code. Okay. So please go in there. And I think this is great, because one thing that we need, because in dev Discord, as you know, communication can be a little hard, and that's understandable from the devs, because when they want to work, it's good that they have their signal to noise ratio lower. But if we have a separate Discord where people can engage more freely, I think that'll be excellent, where we can have good open debate. And if there is some merit that arises, then someone like Baloney Bones, myself, or even someone else can then bring it to the attention of the devs, because on dev Discord, in those threads, they just get lost. They just get absolutely lost. It's not very effective when it comes to, you know, parsing good information. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Is that as there are a lot, like, there is a lot of merit and there's a lot of worth in those conversations, but it is, I mean, if you go 15, 30 minutes sometimes on what, let's call it one of the bad days, it's going to be really, really hard to find that good stuff. And we, having a team that is actively, like, that's what we're supposed to do, that's what we're supposed to be there, we are able to basically transfer that information, and then, you know, we will be able to affect its visibility way more, I would say, precisely and efficiently than otherwise. So it's not trying to you know, extract value in any way. It's trying to amplify the value and make it more, I would say, pure, and kind of like distill it down so that we can get the best of the best conversations going. And again, just like provide all different angles. And that's what we're like. The Treasury's asked us to do this, so we're gonna do it. It's not like we're going to try to hijack anything. We're there for as requested by the core team. So that's we're excited to do it, man. We're excited to be acknowledged and be validated in our efforts.
Right. Yeah. And I think most importantly, right, is, I mean, it's a proof of concept. What happened?
We've done it.
We did it. We did it. Right. Exactly. And like Simon, the new CEO of Nine Realms, I think he understands perfectly well. I'm very happy he said that. Is, he's one of the things he was impressed by was the response of the community and people keeping a cool head. Because you guys remember, it got a little dicey there for a second, right? We had 30 nodes churn out. Things were uncertain, but like the aggregated community just kept their cool. We made spaces, we made posts, we just hammered the problem out and we figured it out. And here we are on the cusp of Prop 6. That is great. It's absolutely great. So I think investing in the community, which is already proven time and time again to be the solution, is a very worthwhile investment. So I'm really appreciative to the CEO of Nine Realms for saying that.
Me too. And actually, like, I'm going to be meeting with him every 2 weeks. So I'll be the one giving an update on community management and community sentiment. So I'll be the guy meeting with him, and I intend to bring good news every other week. So I'm really looking forward to his hands-on approach, man. He asked in my first meeting with him, he asked a lot of excellent questions, and I have a lot of confidence in the direction of THORChain and of Nine Realms and everything about it. I now currently have to hop off. I've got to go drive 2 hours to a baseball game.
That's right. That's right, dude. Hey, I hope
opening day.
Yeah, buddy. Thanks, man. I appreciate you.
No problem. Thanks, buddy.
All right, Baloney Bones. Take care, bro.
See you.
Just to wrap on something Baloney Bones was saying, right? Like what's so great is Simon going above and beyond to promote the community, because it's something that I think can sound janky or cliche initially, that community support, it almost sounds like a little soft and wishy-washy, but that's not the case. That's not the case with this community, with everyone in here. There's so many rock stars, and the thing is too, it's always surprising me is I felt like right now I look at the audience and everyone has their avatar profile, and the thing that always gets me is that some people have really interesting avatar profiles, but there's like usually a mega genius behind the and I talk to them, it's like, wow, you know what I mean? It's like some silly little picture, but then they're like so intelligent, so informed, so nuanced in their understanding of all the ecosystem. It's truly incredible. We have a new speaker with the Coke. And guys, I want to invite anyone up here who has updates regarding their ecosystems, whether it's Rujira, Maya Protocol, Mocha, I don't care, or an interface specifically. This is open. We have a lot of things to chat about. And I want to make sure we get as much information we can today. So what's going on with the Coke?
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Greetings from Spain, Malaga. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to speak about, but thanks Shapeshift intern for inviting me on. I actually joined as a like an active community member when the crisis happened, like when the notes turned out and a lot of misinformation started to spread out, and it kind of annoyed me. I've usually always been like laid back in the shadows, just learning about crypto, learning about projects, and just buying, and not much community work or involvement. But I think this, and I just recently spoke with a couple of my friends as well. I think this crisis, this is like interesting. It's of course at the moment the token price is still low. It kind of hurts, but this crisis kind of like it's like this hitting rock bottom as a person, like if you hit the rock bottom, there's only like you only go higher from there. Your all your like shame is out there, and I felt like THORChain hit the rock bottom, and all the changes that we did rapid after that, like I don't know, deleting the block rewards, all those things that we kind of were just cruising and like thinking, yeah, in the future we will deal with the rewards, and in the future we will deal with the loans and the sins and the lending stuff, and we're cash cow. We make so much money. We print money every day, but I feel that the day that everything kind of started to collapse, we had this like a cold shower shake up, and we started running again. We started sprinting again. We kind of got complacent with our being the leader in the cross chain swapping, and I think that it was amazing, and it engaged me as well to become like an active community member, trying to help as much as possible, spread awareness, maybe delete some misconceptions that people may have from the old days. And yeah, truly, really honored to be here, happy to be on stage, and those Sundays for me, either driving to the mountains, listening, Kenton, you, or just at the moment chilling at the beach. It's just it's therapy session for the THORChain for sure, for the community at least.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that, and it's true what you said. I mean, yeah, it's never good to get complacent, and yeah, I think what happened was a very good wake up call for the THORChain. I described it initially as like an enema, what happened, but I don't want I don't like saying that because it makes it sound like we're flushed out people's like debt obligation, and that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying enema in terms of getting rid of block rewards and getting our butt kicked a little bit to get into gear, and just going back to our core ethos. And we did that very quickly. And speaking of, as you said, hitting rock bottom, I mean, like the space says, rising like a phoenix. We were at 80 something nodes. Now we're 113. We're marching steadily to 120. I firmly believe we're going to hit that. I'm very excited about that, guys, because once we hit 120 and we have some bond wars start happening for a while, then I'm going to at that point start ask the devs like, hey, like, we're here, we're at 120, we're doing it, we've made it. I think you guys need to start thinking about increasing the node count even more, right, to get even more rune into the system that can be bonded. That conversation is for a later date. I don't know when, but the sooner we get to 120, which I think is going to happen very, very soon, I'm optimistic about it. Remember to bond your rune, guys. Then we're going to go there. We're going to transition to that. So yeah, I appreciate you saying that with the Coke, and I'm glad you listened to the spaces. And everyone, please, if you could share the space, let's get some people in here. We have a decent crowd already, but we need to make sure that we're expanding people and being able to hear what we're going to say. We have a new speaker. Thank you, Shapeshift, for doing that. Mocha, you're on thing. And Mocha, guys, for those who don't know, it is a it is a point of sale application that's going to use the decentralized liquidity protocols of like Maya protocol and THORChain, and they just released their alpha testing. I'm so sorry, Mocha, that I couldn't be there. I'm a very busy guy. I got some family stuff going on, so I really wanted to be there. But it looks like you guys have a lot of people playing with your alpha, so I'm so happy. You want to give an update of what's going on?
I'll just have last sentences before Amoka starts. Also, I'm in the alpha group. I cannot say much, but the approach is good. I think it's the right way to approach. Most likely, Mocha will give more updates. And also, guys, keep in mind, I do have my YouTube channel where I collect all the spaces about THORChain, Rujira, all the upcoming apps, and I just put them all in the one place where people can just listen in, so they don't maybe have to go hunting. Of course, if you have chance, come live, chat in, give some feedback. But if you want to have this lazy approach, just subscribe to one channel. I'm uploading all the spaces there with timestamps, and it's actually interesting to see from YouTube analytics where people click. So what kind of topics are the most intriguing for people? What they want to like catch on, or what is piquing their interest. So hopefully see you on my YouTube, guys, as well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Share the link in the comments. I'm on the desktop right now with hosting, so I can't see the comments at this time. But share it, and I'll promote it because I didn't even know you had that. I think that's great because we have a good location where all the spaces are. I mean, it just shows you how the ecosystems are kind of permutating, and I think that's excellent what you're doing. Keep it up, man. And please, you DM it to me, put it in the comments. I want people to be able to go to your site.
Yeah, absolutely. And my YouTube is same with the Goke, and also it's in my bio, and I will drop the link below. And the idea is just aggregate all the data because it's so hard to keep on. I snoop around all the dashboard, THORChain org, THORChain net, the Discord devs, are also on the auto stakers Telegram. So trying to have as much as different angles to see things. Or like, are you the front end? So following the Leo Dex and the CEO there as well, like what kind of things they are doing. And yeah, It's been so fun, and I think the best benefit for me doing all this aggregation is that I learned so much about THORChain itself. Like I knew vaguely what the idea was behind it. It was an amazing idea, but now knowing all the details, it's interesting. I like it, love it.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And that's so true. There's so much to learn. It takes years really to get a mastery of it. And I still learn every day, I feel like. So thank you. I appreciate that. Mocha. Mocha looks like they went down to listener. If we can shapeshift, maybe we can get them back up in the speaker location. I think that just happens sometimes. But when we get Mocha back up here, I'm just going to continue, guys. I want to let you guys know that the community requested a interface for bonding your rune. Okay, and we had some amazing community members. Little Bunny, Hippocampus. They've been building the rune bond site. Really cool. It's in the early stages right now, but people are using it. They're using it to connect to node operators. And there's so many things that they can do. They're thinking about adding cool features, like if you have if you're a node on the node side, and you have each individual bond provider can, like the feature is, sorry, I'm collecting my thoughts. The feature is if you're a bond provider, you can signal to leave, even if you don't have enough bond. I mean, it's not going to result in anything, but if you're a node operator, you can then tally how many people in your node want to leave, but because they can signal, and then you can make an informed decision of like, okay, we can churn out now because, it's just really good analytics and interfaces just to know exactly what your bonfires want and what's going on. So there's so many cool features that we can build, and I'm just scratching the surface here. As I said, it's really hard to keep up with everything, but they're building. So please head over there and give them support. Is Mocha up, Shapeshift? I don't know if it's maybe glitching for me. Mocha, are you there? Or they keep dropping? They might keep dropping.
Yeah, I resent him and approved him, and then he dropped back down. I'll try again.
Guys, this is the problem with X. It's just so buggy sometimes. It's unfortunate. Messes up the tempo and the flow of spaces, but we'll just keep going. It's no big deal. We just adapt and overcome. Until we get Mocha up here, I get some more. Okay, hang on. I got a message here. Okay, not related. Okay. So, guys, I'll keep it going here. Okay, there you are.
Nice. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, brother.
I need to confirm this. Okay, perfect. Yeah, sorry.
No worries, man.
I woke up, I joined from my cell phone, and I decided, you know what? No, I have to go to the computer because, the crispy sound and all of that.
Yeah, absolutely. We need to make sure that you have to have good ambiance in your voice, bro. It's very important. And guys, before Mocha starts, please share the space. We got a lot of cool things to talk about. Let's get some people in here. Mocha, sounds like you guys have an alpha going on. What's going on, man?
Yes, and actually, I can see a few people that are already part of the testing stage of the Hero app of Mocha, which, just like with the Coke said, we can't really speak a lot about it, not because we don't want to share all of the good stuff, but because when we launch at the end of May, we want to make a big marketing campaign that it's going to include. We are not going to pay for KOLs and all that stuff, but we are definitely going to pay for advertisement. And we do have a couple of collaborations going on that we're going to announce right there. And it's going to be a big marketing campaign, but we don't want a million users on day one. We know that it's going to be a grind, and we know that at the end of the road, we want the THORChain and the Maya protocol ecosystems to grow and to get more users, because that's going to lift the tide. No, it's not the tide. What's the word? Yes, it's a lifting tide. Lifts all boats, right? Yeah. Okay. So, well, basically, that's what we're trying to do right now. But given the nature of the application that's going to be the center of Mocha, and the people who already tested it know about this, it's going to be it has a huge potential of adoption, but there's already a couple of big players in the space that already have all of the market share. And if we take a few percentages of their market share, we're going to have millions and millions of users in cryptocurrency in the back end, but a very, very Web2 friendly application in the front. So that's the goal. The first 6 months, we do have a very ambitious goal, which I will not share because you're gonna be like, oh come on, man, that's not gonna be feasible. It's too ambitious. But it's more than 6 figures of users by 6 months. So we'll see. But yeah, on the good stuff, we do already have a wallet. We already have the point of sale concept already working, which we're actually working on a few videos so we can share this week. And we are also working on the Explorer, which is going to be, imagine that you want to track a transaction from Maya to Rune to Solana, for example, and you want to do it in the same place, well, you're going to be able to use the Mocha Explorer for this. You're not going to have to use the Maya scan in one side, the THORChain Explorer in another tab, so you can see them side by side, and then the Sol scan, which is pretty bad. You're just gonna be you will just have to use the Mocha Explorer. So that's where we're at, and we really appreciate the platform here to share what we're doing. Patriot Sounds, I mean, Sunday, a space, 8 a.m. That's amazing, man.
Hey, no, hey, thanks. I appreciate it. And I just think the technology that you guys have is so incredible. It's so transformative. I mean, right now we have a mere vote to reduce the min basis points, so we can get more swap volume, be more competitive. But there's a whole other market out there of people who don't even use cross chain that could be, and that's Mocha, guys. And why would you get a normie transition into cryptocurrency and use Mocha instead of like using, their Visa card? It's because it's cheaper. It's cheaper. The economic incentives are pretty clear, right? It's cheaper to use Mocha because what do credit card companies charge, right? It's like 150, 300 basis points. Mocha will be much cheaper than that. Go ahead, Mocha.
Exactly, and you just nailed it. The cool thing about Mocha, and the main reason why whenever someone asks me, hey, so what about Voltasig? What about Asgardex? What about Thor Wallet? Like, are you competing against them? Are you just another like, are you just there to steal or to cannibalize the user base? And the main answer that I give them is like, all of the front ends in THORChain and Maya, well, they are a competitor, so to speak, because we do offer the same services, but at the same time, that's not our niche and that's not our audience. And we are not promoting, like if you check our X page or feed, you will see that we are not taking the same approach. One, because the others are doing a great job. And second, because the main competitors that we're looking at are mainly Web 2. And just like you said, credit card companies charge from 1.5 to 3.5, some charge 5%. We are going to compete with them with a better rate to pay for stuff in businesses, and the users getting some swaps in the back end to pay for those for the things they are buying. So yes, while people can just go to Mocha and use the swap services, we're not promoting that because the main place or the main front where we're going to push our growth, it's in the point of sale and the hero app, the encrypted app, which is like I said, we cannot share right now. But yes, I mean, you can definitely use Mocha for the normal stuff that you do, like swapping assets, managing wallet, etc. But we know that that part of the ecosystem is completely covered. So we're, instead of trying to, oh, let's just bring out the same product and see if we can just kind of cannibalize a few users, we are like, okay, what's missing in the THORChain and Maya ecosystem? How can we solve a problem? How can we give a solution for what people do not have already? And then this is how Mocha was born a year ago. So yeah, we are
Right.
really, really excited.
Yeah, and it's not hard. In my opinion, a lot of people think getting normies into crypto is difficult. I don't think so. I mean, and the way I game theory it out in my mind, the first principles is if you just have an app that exchange fiat dollars for blockchain, stable coins, then boom. From their perspective, it's really simple. And guys, like what Mocha's doing, their app looks no different than what people use on their phone already when it comes to a banking app and all that stuff. So it's very intuitive. And this is a whole other market here. So I know people listening to this, there are business owners in here. I would encourage you when Mocha goes live to try and incorporate it in your business. And the reason for that is not only because a lot of you here are, you guys are believe in my protocol or Rujirans or THORChaids or whatever. It's good for your business because you can make your customers can buy things cheap, or I should say you can charge cheap. You can give your customers a premium for the things that you sell, right? And then you're also increasing swap volume on the base protocols, which is then a double win, right? Because you are introducing a new competitive advantage as a business because you're able to beat out your competition selling goods and services. And then also you're help promoting THORChain Maya protocol as well, because they're going to be getting swap volume. So this is a win-win, guys. This is literally a 0 to 1. It's like when your mind realizes that there is a new type of service or capability that has no downfalls and just objectively better than what we've been using for decades now. It's very exciting. Very, very exciting. And, and by the way, guys, I push Mocha very hard. I have no tokens in Mocha. I'm not like anyone else. I saw the technology very early at Rare Evo, and it blew me away. And this is clearly the future that we want. It's the best thing. But you better believe I'm going to try and get some Mocha. I'm telling you right now, because I'm super excited. Go ahead.
Yeah, and full disclosure, we even invited Patriot Sound to the alpha stage, and he was like, yo, dude, I would love to do that, but I don't have the time. So he's not even in the alpha stage testing right now. So he's just speaking about how cool we are and we appreciate it, but he's not part of like we just like each other. We're friends, but it's not like, oh yeah, can you plug in Mocha so that we can promote it? Blah, blah. Like, no.
Aha, that's right. Yes, there's no. Yeah, the important thing, guys. I don't get paid for the most things I do. Like I go to various crypto meets. I'll be at BTC Las Vegas. I hope a lot of you can go there. I'd love to meet you guys in person, because when you meet someone in person, like a lot of you guys are listening to my voice, it's much better to meet the person in real life and get a sense who they are, see their mannerisms, their body language. It's better just to understand, because Mocha, that's Zay that's talking, and really cool guy in real life. And we ran around in the Cybertruck, the THORChain Cybertruck, and it's just cool to meet someone. And like you said, we're friends now, right? And so the human bond is underrated 100%. You can only get so far listening to someone's voice, but everyone I've ever met on an avatar has been a really cool person. So I hope to meet a lot more people there on BTC Las Vegas, which is coming up in about a month. So very exciting. Hey guys, if there's anyone from the Rujiran ecosystem that can give a little update of what's going on, I would appreciate it. I know you guys are doing so much, and I try to keep an eye, but as Zay said, I'm so busy. And as a general educator, I got a lot of people pulling me in 30 different directions. Like, hey, check this out. Hey, do this. Look at that. And so, I'm just diluted when it comes to my attention span. It's really hard. Go ahead, Chip.
That's the truth. I wanted to say if you could enable comments, or if you're not able to and somebody wants to write a question, they can go ahead and just DM me and I'll be your voice.
Yeah.
And or if you'd like a microphone, please request. I've identified some Kujirans in the audience and sent requests. So please, if you don't feel free to speak, abruptly stop and feel again.
Hang on, I'm gonna do something. Oh shit. What's going on here? Let me see. I have space settings. Okay, I'm gonna put it on everyone. Let's see what happens. I put on everyone can speak. So I think if someone requests, they're just gonna come up. So that could very easily go awry. But we're gonna try it. Whatever. I'm all about experimentation. So if there's trouble, communicating, because I'm doing this on desktop, guys. Like my phone has a brain fart when it does X spaces, and it's very hard for me. So this is much better. Okay, guys. So more news here. We've got more unique node operators on THORChain. This is very exciting. This is a head nod to RuneTard's efforts and others too who do not want to be disclosed. We are trying to get people who are technically savvy. You know, ideally you have some understanding of Kubernetes, or at least you have the technical skill where you're willing to take on learning Kubernetes. And just a little reminder, guys, if you are someone who is thinking about becoming a node operator and you think you can do it, the little intellectual trick here is if you think you can do it, you definitely can. It's just a matter of time versus effort. So please reach out to RuneTard. If I don't care where you're from, if you're Maya Protocol, Rujira, if you're someone in the Mocha space, or some ordinary THORChad who's got some technical skill, if you want to become a node operator, do it. You can make some money. And we'll try to get you some bond providers, even if you don't have, 300,000 rune to churn in. That's something that can work on. But the first step is reaching out to RuneTard. So I highly encourage you. And this is absolutely incredible what RuneTard's doing. He's basically teaching his competition because he ultimately knows the importance of THORChain. It's so important that it's better to make it healthy. That makes his position better as someone who holds Rune. This is principle over profit. I know that might sound cliche, but it's quite real. The first principles are absolute here. If we're going to fix the world, if we're going to liberate the next 2 generations, we have to make neutral raw infrastructure as hardy and resilient as possible. So that's what we're doing. So again, if you've got someone, also reach out to them. Like, hey, have you thought about becoming a node operator? Make the pitch. Okay, I've sent many people to RuneTard, and not everyone decides to do it, but some definitely have. So I'm super happy about that. TYC, guys, Prop 6, that is coming. It's going to be May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. So that is very, very exciting. We're now going to, this difficult period that THORChain went, difficult but good in the sense that we've really cleaned house here. We've really got our act together, and such a bullish catalyst. I'm so excited. Really feels like the community really rallied. Rallied indeed. I mean, it's incredible what people did. That was a very hard moment. And the resiliency of this wider ecosystem always blows me away. And I tip my hat to you all. You're all wonderful individuals. But yes, TYC Proposition 6, it is going to be live. People who are savers or lenders that were affected and lost their ability to redeem their collateral, you're going to get your TYC starting again at 10 cents. You will be the only initial holders of TYC except the initial pool seeding, which is not going to have any LPs. It's just going to be seeded. Any fees that are incurred by the pool itself, those will be redirected to TYC in terms of it buying itself. So anyone who gets TYC, you are the only one that's going to have it. So if anyone else who was not affected by the savers and lending default, they will have to buy TYC. So I expect TYC to go up. Unless, I could be wrong. People who get it and decide, hey, I just want 10 cents on the dollar. That's your choice, of course. You can do that. But I don't think that's very likely because people are very excited about this asset, especially as we're talking with like Mocha, you guys. This is an entirely different primitive here where you're having ordinary people. Again, not hard to get these people switched over to using blockchain, using goods and service. I mean, we're so early. We are so early when it comes to this technology. So keep an eye out for that, guys. And very, very, I want to put this out there. If you are someone who's affected, please be mindful for scam attempts. There will be scam attempts. There will be people who impersonate me on Telegram, on X, on Discord, impersonate all kinds of people. Do not connect your wallet to something unless you are absolutely sure. We will have the links in the Telegram and pinned messages, okay? Remember, there is no rush. There's really not much of there's no advantage to being first here, okay? Unless you're like wanting to sell right away. That's on you. But just generally speaking, take your frickin' time here, okay? Because the scammers I'm sure there's a bunch of them already. They're just waiting to push the button, okay? So be super smart. Use your frontal cortex. Think about it. Don't get too emotional. Just wait, double, triple, quadruple check, and then get your TCY. I don't want anyone to get rugged here. Okay. I hate scammers. I think they're all scum of the earth, parasitic life forms. So I want you guys to get your TCY and I want you to be safe. So important. I can't say that enough. Okay. I touched on it earlier before. We have a vote going on THORChain right now about, I think it's 8 basis points, I'm not mistaken, right now, currently with THORChain's on. So, but it seems like we're losing swap volume to competition. So there is a Mimir vote to go down to 5 basis points. And so for those who don't know, it's generally speaking, the fee is going to be double the basis points because it's a double swap, right? So if you go to Bitcoin to ETH, how it works is it's a double swap. It's all tallied like instantaneously, but it's BTC to Rune, Rune to ETH, right? If you go to Rune to BTC or BTC to Rune, then it's only going to be 5 basis points if that's what the fee was. But because it's a double swap, the fee is 10 basis points. Okay, so I encourage node operators to vote and get that going so we can see if we get a significant increase in swap volume, which I think we will. And that, of course, will offset any lost revenue when it comes to just charging less. So encourage node operators to vote 5 basis points. I think that's the right play, and we can always change it if something if it doesn't work out all that well. No big deal. Again, I want to make a pitch to the audience. If there's anyone here from Rujira, and I know you don't feel, if someone's shy and they don't want to come up and speak, that's okay. I don't want to twist anyone's arm. But if he wants to give people an update on Rujira, I'm very curious to know what's going on over there because I'm so excited. And if there's big developments, I've been popping in. It seems like people are switching their Kujira over to Rujira now. And there's going to be, I think it's 2 weeks. You have a 2-week period to swap for 1-to-1 redemption. And I'm sorry if I'm butchering this, guys. And then you're going to have a year over time where it's going to deprecate slowly to 0 redemption. I hope I got that right. So if you're holding Kujira, please switch over to Rujira if that's what you want to do. Again, be safe. Don't, go to the Rujira and Telegram. I'm sure they'll have official links there. They'll be able to help you out. Go ahead with the Coke.
Yeah, I will help maybe some people out as well, because I just migrated my tokens like 3 days ago or something, and that was like postponing because I read some threads like, oh, you have to have some Rune or THORChain already ready and this and that. So guys, if you have to migrate, keep in mind you need just to swap from the Gujira to Cosmos and from Cosmos to THORChain. And I think maybe the hardest part is if you don't have already runes available is how do I get runes ready? Just swap 0.2 Cosmos, and then on the Thor.finance swap your half of this 0.2 Cosmos for rune, and you will be ready set, and you can do all these 2 hubs and migrate your tokens easy. And when it comes to the basis points, I remember back in day when I was looking into a THORChain, and there was one concern, and that's Patriot mainly. Maybe you can elaborate more on that. Is that the THORChain business? Isn't it going to, since we have the SwapKit who like aggregate all the Maya and chain flips? Isn't it going to be the race to the bottom when it comes to fees? Like because like when it comes to like let's say like Binance, Coinbase, and Kraken, maybe there's like some brand awareness. People stick to the exchanges, but since it happens on exchanges, on decentralized exchange, and the aggregators will just switch behalf of us the routes for the users. How can THORChain keep to be the best or the most competitive chain or the best decentralized exchange to the users? What's the edge you think THORChain has, and what makes us not to just go to the bottom when it comes to basis points fees?
Yeah, well, that might happen, right? I mean, it's clear people who charge less, they're going to get the swap. People don't care necessarily where their swap come from. They just want the best deal. So yeah, it could be very much. I don't know if it's going to be a race to the bottom because that doesn't economically make sense for everybody because there has to be money made there. But there's a lot of things coming on THORChain when it comes to trade accounts, which is going to allow arbitrageurs to swap much more efficiently than they are now, and they're already swapping pretty efficiently. it's going to be a meritocracy here. Who has the better design, who has the best features, who has all the things that were going on. And so, the swap volume, you guys have to remember, DEX swap volume is so tiny compared to SEX volume. It really is tiny. And that's why I'm so encouraged by the marketing efforts of Kenton. We want to get people using this technology. And so we've never really taken marketing super seriously before. We've had community initiatives, but I'm really excited to see what Kenton and some others are going to be doing on that front. So, it's going to be a combination of block times. It's going to be a combination of the swapping efficiency and who can give the best deal. And I'm very confident that we definitely can do that and be very competitive. I mean, we have some of the best devs in the world, and our technology is just so fantastic. And then also with Rujira and everything going on, I mean, we have different. Rujira, that's unique to THORChain. So Rujirans are going to bring a whole other set of swap volume that we don't even have. I mean, you guys got to remember, we are still so early. I mean, the people that use THORChain right now are people who swap crypto, and that's such a tiny percentage of the population, right? So tiny. So the best thing is to get ahead of it, get more chains added, get integrations and all the things, and that's coming, right? And if you just look at Binance relative to our swap volume, it's like a little tiny blip. Right? So I'm not too worried about that at all, honestly. We just have to keep executing, and the swap volume is going to increase. As you can see, our growth has been exponential. I think I forget right here. I think it was like 60% year over year was the average growth rate. That's incredible growth. So it's 2025, and everyone here understands crypto very well. But you have to remember, relative to the rest of the world, we are still so very new. And with new primitives like Mocha coming on, again, guys, 0 to 1, using blockchain to buy real goods and services, which is cheaper for customers, 0 to 1. I mean, things are looking so great. I've never been more bullish. Eric, you got your hand raised. What's going on, man?
GM. So yeah, the game theory and the market dynamics behind having several front ends developing and offering a similar service, I don't think it's going to be a race to the bottom. One, because of what you already said about making it profitable. In the end, this is like you're in crypto and you're building because you're looking to solve a problem, but to also make a profit out of it. So I don't know if it's going to be a race to the bottom, but more like a specialization of what issue are you trying to solve. And we can already see it going on a little bit with a couple of front ends that do not take any fees when the amounts are very small. A couple of others are focusing more on making the experience a little bit more sex-like, so that people feel like trying to copy or to emulate the look and feel of any of other sex centralized exchanges. I can see a couple of others that are focusing a lot on trying to get into specific ecosystems and become a little bit of a collaborative front end where people from other blockchains or from other communities has that front end as their go-to front end, and they don't even know about the others. And like you just said, for example, you have Voltasig that solves security and ease of use. You have Mocha that is trying to solve for normie adoption. And in the end, you have to stay above, I don't know, let's just say something without making it the hard truth, but you want to do at least 20 basis points, at 30 basis points at least, because otherwise you're just going to have to close shop. So unless there's like a McDonald's kind of money behind the front end, you're not going to be able to drop your fees to a point just to get all of the market share. And then when everyone's out of business, you can just monopolize whatever you have. But that's not going to happen. So I do believe that around 20 to 30 is going to be the bottom. Some front ends do have a higher fee, but they offer different things, and they do have an advantage in the sense that people might like using that more, or the user experience is better, or it's incredibly normie friendly, etc. So it's a trade-off. Are you willing to pay 15 basis points to use this amazing front end? I don't know, that understands you completely. Well, I think that's going to be a good way to measure who's going to have a better product market fit. Because yes, while there's a lot of fronts that any front end can focus on, I can see us, if the decentralized volume does not grow, there's going to be like a saturation, so to speak. That's why I love projects that focus on growing the pond instead of getting more users of the existing pond.
Yeah, I think that's well said. Yeah, I think if you, yeah, that is perfect. When it comes to like the interface, is like, if it's a race to the bottom, like you said, there's probably going to be a floor, because the raw economics is just breeds rationalism on that front. But ultimately, it's going to be a combination of the fees that are charged and also the services that are provided. And a lot of people also, there's a comfort factor there. You know what I mean? Some people who use like Thor Wallet, Trust Wallet, or I see Leodex is entered here, whatever, right? People, like, if they feel safe, they tend to stay. I know I felt that way when I was first starting in crypto, because I started out very little, and you hear people getting rugged and scammed and all that stuff, and a lot of people just want, like, okay, maybe I can get a better deal here, but at least I'm safe. So there's a lot of elements going on there when it comes to people and retaining usership of various interfaces. Go ahead with the code.
Oh yeah, yeah, kind of agree with your response, since like we don't know who's gonna win this, and Eric mainly commented on the front end aspect. But yeah, my concern was of course the back end, like Maya or Chainflip. How do any of those chains make sure that they stay on top of the game? Of course, at the moment, THORChain has the upper hand when it comes to like large swaps. There's luckily there's no better place than THORChain to get your like big swaps in. And yeah, that was like my main question, like how as a backend, because THORChain has made it as clear as possible. Like we want to separate the front end and the back end, so we don't have this like attack vector where somebody can come and close us down. That was the main concern for me, at least. When
Can
I
you
looked into the yeah.
you broke up a little bit. What would you say about closing down? Did you mean just beat us on
Ah,
price execution?
no, I mean, what I said about closing down is that THORChain made it clear that, oh, we don't want to run the front end and the back end at the same time, so we cannot be attacked and seized and
Oh, yeah,
seized
yeah.
that aspect. So that was my main concern, since we only are dealing with the back end business. Of course, the Mocha and the Leodex and the Multisig, they are the front end. They actually don't somewhat they don't care who's going to win the backend game, because they're always there. SwapKit is always just integrating more and more projects that come on board, offer lower fees. So my concern, yeah, since I'm into the THORChain, is the backend part of the business.
I think the important thing is swap volume. Swap volume is the most important thing. If swap volume goes up tremendously, you can have stupidly low fees and you can make a lot of money. Like, I'm just doing napkin math in my head, but let's, like, okay, when we had no minimum, because we guys, I don't know if you guys, we didn't used to have a minimum basis point fee for THORChain. So it was literally as efficient as the arbitrageurs could go. That's the deal that the people were getting. Okay. And we were getting multi-million-dollar swaps at 3 basis points. 3 basis points. Okay. Now, how crazy it is. If that's $1 million, that's a $300 fee. I mean, that's absolutely insane capital efficiency. Okay. If you have the same swap volume or on par swap volume as like a Binance relative to the THORChain, even our fee was 1 basis point, we would be making much more money today than we are. We were just making more money. Okay. So the important thing is we got to get our swap volume up. I think that's most important. Get people comfortable using with THORChain. So just winning on price execution, I think, is great. And again, if you just look at previous analytics, people are switching from centralized exchanges. They're going to decentralized exchanges. And if interfaces, every interface is marketing THORChain indirectly if they use it. Okay. Whether or not that route gets selected is contingent on the price execution and the ability of THORChain to swap. So we can market THORChain, and we're going to do that. But every single interface is going to become an individual marketer of THORChain and Maya Protocol and others as well. So the swap volume's coming. So really, in my mind, how I think of it when I play it in my mind is, yeah, even if you make less money in the short term, the important thing is just to win on the price execution, and the revenue is going to come. The revenue is going to come. I mean, us removing block rewards right now, we have no artificial inflation of the token. That is a tremendous accomplishment, absolutely legendary accomplishment that extremely small percentage of protocols can ever accomplish. So now it's just growing the pond, as Eric said, and we're going to do that. So I wouldn't be too worried with the Coke right now. Important thing is just to improve THORChain, make the churns better price execution, more efficiency, more features like Rujira, new, entirely new economic primitives like Mocha. Again, it's hard. It's hard to, I think, for humans to encapsulate in mind how early we are, but we are still stupidly early, especially relative to the population that uses blockchain for, or most people don't. Most people don't, you know, as Kenton's come up here before, and he's talking to normies, and they bring up XRP out of the blue. And Kenton's like, how the heck do you know about XRP? What the heck, right? So, you know, a lot of it's marketing, a lot of it's branding. We just got to get people familiar with this technology. And like everyone in this room, you're all here at one time or another. You did not understand this technology, and now you do. It's something that clicks in your mind. It's the new frontier. So I'm not too worried. Actually, I'm not worried at all right now. You know, if there's something that happens with a bridge, we can cross it. But again, I would just point to this community and our ability to solve problems. We are a problem-solving machine. Yeah, that's a testament to you all. So guys, let me bring up my thing here. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Nodes, if you go to 5 basis points, I think that's great. That would bring us on par with competition. I don't know if anyone's here from Cacao or Maya Protocol, but I want to remind everyone, Maya is doing something very special soon. They're going to be getting privacy. This is a big deal. They're going to be getting Zcash. And I'm not an expert on Zcash when it comes to how good that privacy is or not, but it is irrelevant. This is a privacy coin, and Maya Protocol is going to be the first decentralized exchange to have one with no KYC. And I want to make sure everyone in here, whether or not you're THORChain, Maya Protocol, or whatever ecosystem you're by, this could bring them a lot of heat. And I want to make sure everyone is ready to come to Maya Protocol's defense. I feel very strongly about that. This is very brave what they're doing, and I am so thankful for people like Alex and the rest of the Maya Protocol people. This is what the world needs, okay? THORChain was the first big one when it came to decentralized cross-chain swaps, which basically removes the need to go to a centralized exchange, which makes the whole point of cross-chain irrelevant if you have a centralized entity, right? The next step now is privacy. So one thing, I hope people don't think I'm crazy or anything, but I'm telling you right now, this is a war for the freedom of the world. You know, I'm an American, we have Mexicans here, we have a Spaniard here. Everyone, like the world is represented. If I looked at my metrics every day, it's like I had like 100 countries that were interacting with my things, and that's cross-chain. So this is a worldwide phenomenon. Okay, guys. So we're all in this together. I don't care what nationality you or whatever your religion. If you believe we share the value of freedom, privacy, then we're on the same team, and we need to work together. Okay. So important. If one country has a little stability like America right now, when it comes to promoting freedom, that could certainly go away at the next election. So we have to work very hard. We have to be very aggressive. We cannot take things for granted. So if you are a developer, whether it's Maya or anything else, I would ask you, please just build as hard as you can. Do not have optimism. Do not have pessimism. Just put your head down and execute raw execution. Let's bring it like the next 4 years. Let's make this happen. Let's bring it home. Let's make this infrastructure so hard to destroy. There is no centralized entity that could bring us down. So again, guys, Maya Protocol, Zcash, this is a big deal. You're going to hear lots of arguments. I suspect people will say that they're helping criminals, blah, 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 blah. Let me tell you right now. The biggest criminals are governments. Okay, as a public official myself, there is not a candle we can hold to them when it comes to criminality. especially if you're looking at the audits of what's going on in my own country. I'm sure everyone here could have anecdotal stories of how terrible and corrupt their own country is. All right. We are building the infrastructure that's going to lead to a free and prosperous world. Okay. So, yeah, there's a lot of arguments they're going to bring. You guys have the toolkit. You know all the phrases. I would just ask you, please be there when the time comes. They're going to need us. Maya Protocol was there for us. Let us be there for them. Okay. With the Coke, is your hand raised? I don't know. I feel like it might be glitching, but yeah, go ahead if you want to say something.
It is not, but yeah, I'm from
Okay.
Estonia,
Yeah.
and
Your
my
hand
country
keeps.
is as
Go
bad.
ahead.
Yeah, I'm from Estonia, and my country is as bad. We actually got our independence again in 1992, 1991, and first 10 years it seemed like we were like making a big change. Life is getting better, but like if the sadly, if there is shift in power, mm, usually the same guys just under the different label still continue the show. So it's all charade, and yeah, I feel you. That's why I'm in crypto as well. That's actually how I got into the crypto through. They say it's conspiracies. I say it's just the news 1 year before you hear it from the CNN or something. So yeah, as bad
Yeah.
here as well.
Yeah. Guys, the reason why, let's go through the first principles here. Let's just break this down very simply here. Okay. With the Coke said a very important word, and that is power. Okay. You are all being subjugated every single day. It doesn't feel like it because when we think of subjugation, we often think of historical references like World War II, where you have someone in a different colored uniform, maybe speaks a different language, with a gun, with a tank, and they make you bend the knee, right? This is a whole different arena here with a whole new technology stack. It comes to propaganda, when it comes to economics, the banks, right? If you have the wrong political opinion, if you are a opposing party of the ruling class, they have attack vectors against you, right? And this is happening in my country. I guarantee it's happening in every single person's country in here, okay? The first principles are clear. If we can build an infrastructure that rewards transparency, that rewards fairness in an open market, then that is a competitive advantage on the freedom front, which then if other countries want to compete and win, they're going to have to emancipate their own people. Okay. This is why it works. All right. We have to make this technology as hardy and as tough as possible. And we're already doing that. And that's, again, guys, this is why, like Runtard. Okay. This is a guy who's teaching his own competition. This would be an unthinkable concept in terms of any capitalistics. Like what business goes to an opposing business is, hey, like, this is how we're kicking your ass right now. This is how we do this, how we do that. Like, the reason why Runtard understands very clearly that this is all or nothing. This is literally all or nothing. This is not hyperbolic. This is not me exaggerating, okay? This is literally what's going on. We have one chance to do this, one single opportunity to free the world forever. This is a technology that's never existed before. As a species, we've never had this capability to have a medium of exchange that cannot be censored. Every single medium of exchange, where it's gold, silver, dollars, fiat, it doesn't matter. It can all be one another censored in some way. Now, our technology is not perfect yet. We have things to work on. And again, this is why I think what Maya Protocol is doing is so important, is giving the ability to transact in private. Okay, that is an essential pillar to liberating the world. Once we achieve that, and I'm feeling pretty confident that my own country is going to embrace this, because it's quite clear. We've already had this experiment when it comes to encrypted emails. I mean, we can make this argument very clear that privacy is necessary for businesses to function and to protect people. So, guys, we're going to do this, okay? But instead of just saying we're going to do it, we actually have to execute. So this is why I do spaces. This is why I do things. I go to cryptocurrency meets. I don't get paid to do stuff. I would encourage you guys to get involved in any way you can. We all have to do this together. And let this be the moment. Let this be the moment where people look back at the things that we're doing right now and they give us a head nod. They say, wow, they understood what was going on and they did it, right? I mean, that's the thing is as humans, we're not very good at understanding that right now we are forging history. We are carving the path right now. Like this conversation, everyone listening, everyone paying attention, we are actively formulating what's going on. Like Mocha building infrastructure that allows people to buy things with crypto. We literally are frontiersmen. We're conquering the wild, wild west. We're setting the rules, and we're all doing it in a decentralized and semi-organized way. It's a phenomenal thing to experience. So you are a part of this. You are a warrior, whether you knew it or not. So fight, please. Okay, guys. We got Mocha. We got the. I shouted out my protocol. If anyone has any questions or concerns or comments, I invite anyone on the stage. If there's anyone speakers up here that have any topics, we've been going on a little over an hour now. Usually I like to go a little longer than that. But I really wanted an update from Rujira because I'm so excited. I mean, this is another 0 to 1. What's going on over there? I want to know, where they're at, how quick they're going to be getting things, because it's going to be a whole nother swap volume. And I promise, like to the Rujirans right now, with the Raise the Bond campaign, I'm going to do my absolute best to get you as much security as possible, because I want you guys to have lots of wiggle room to flex your muscle, because your technology stack is absolutely incredible. And I'm so beyond thankful and blessed that you guys came and we joined forces here. It's going to be a beautiful, beautiful thing. We weren't very good at THORChain. I think that's an understatement. We're not good at it, but you guys are the experts. And that's my pledge to you, is to get you as much security as I possibly can, so you guys can kick some ass. And turns out you guys might be you guys might be so successful, it might be the tail wagging the dog a little bit, but that's okay. That's a good problem to have. Eric, go ahead, brother.
Yes, I actually have a question. Well, so I've been reading some posts on X that say that you have 10 days, 11 days. So does this mean that there's only like 35% of the total Ruji, well, that was Kuji merged into Ruji, and the remaining one is going to, like, are people going to just not be able to merge after this timeline, or
So
what's going to happen?
Yeah, so from what I understand, I'm sorry if I get this wrong, Rujirans. I think it was 14 days you have to upgrade, and then there is a slow tapering, deprecation tapering over a year. Now, ordinarily, you would probably want a much longer time frame for people to upgrade, but I think here, if my knowledge is correct, like Kujira is an ecosystem that might not exist post Rujira, right? So I think it makes complete sense for Rujira to have kind of a tight time frame to get people to kick their butt to upgrade Rujira, because I don't know how long there's going to be validators on the Kujira native one, and maybe Kujira goes on and exists years after Rujira. I really don't know enough about the ecosystem to have an informed opinion on the matter, but I think it's fine. I think it's and yes, after the 2-week period is a slow tapering over a year. So if I'm doing napkin math, every 3.65 days, that's 1% of redemption value is lost. So if someone here, if you're a Jiren or whatever, someone in Kujira who's interested, please let them know that it's time to upgrade if that's what they want to do. But yeah, it makes sense to me on the tight time frame that Rujira is doing. And this is something that's been planned for a long time. So it's not necessarily like just 14 days. And then, there's been months and months and months of this and talking and dialogue about, the transition that's happening. I mean, if you're in Kujira and you don't know about the, of what happened, then you haven't paid attention in a very, very long time. And that's something you just can't do in crypto. You have to be actively engaged. We still have people here who occasionally pop in on THORChain asking about their beacon chain rune, and it's like, bro, beacon chain doesn't even exist anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry, like there's nothing. So yeah, this is an industry that you have to pay attention. So yeah, I hope that answers the question. And there's a lot of things about Rujira that I'm ignorant of. It's so much to learn. I feel pretty knowledgeable about THORChain, but then the moment I dip my toe in another ecosystem, I feel hopelessly ignorant. So, yeah. Did you have anything else, Eric, on that?
Yeah, no. So when I heard about Kuji around 3 years ago, I realized the community was hardcore. And, after everything that's happened in the past, probably you could tie that down to the past year. You could see that the people who are, I kind of like to compare it a little bit with what THORChain is going through right now, where the people that endured and believe in the protocol stuck around, and it's building time now. So whoever is here has the mentality and is aligned with let's build and let's grow and let's do whatever it takes to take the ecosystem to the next level. So that's basically what THORChats are right now. And the Ruji ecosystem, even though I'm not that familiar with what I've seen, is that, dude, this community, once it goes live, once their blockchain or their layer two, so to speak, goes live, this is going to get crazy, man, because you have two of the most hardcore, I could even dare calling them cultish communities that have these values and foundations on their personal life, and a protocol that emulates or aligns perfectly with these foundations and with these moral values. This is going to really, really explode.
That's a great point. I'm so glad you brought that up because, yeah, I mean, Rujirans are absolute badasses, right? Like, they had to survive Luna implosion. So they've had two major things that, well, as far as I know, two major things that they had to survive. And THORChain is the same way. We had ChaosNet and we had exploits, and that was the purpose, honestly, of ChaosNet, to get exploited. But we didn't handle it too well. We maybe got exploited more than we should have. Just maybe it was a bit of a hubris mistake on our part. But yeah, these people are survivors. They're absolute badasses. And that's why they've slotted in so nicely into THORChain community, because we're like the same thing, right? We're the same community. We have a goal. We have an absolutist mindset now. And I like how you use the word cult. Because THORChain and Rujira and things, we're definitely not cults, because if you have like 10 people in a room from our ecosystems, you're going to have like 11 different opinions, but we are pretty cultish in terms of our absolutism for freedom and decentralization and permissionless. And I think
This space was downloaded via spacesdown.com. Visit to download your spaces today.
that is a healthy form of being a cult, if that's what you want to call it. We cannot bend the knee on this. We have to be very firm and absolutist in this. If you take one tiptoe away from a permissionlessness, then it is the pathway to tyranny. So you got to hold your ground. You got to say no, right? Like when we had exploited funds going through THORChain, and we had the node operators battling out whether or not to shut down ETH swaps and Bitcoin swaps. That was a defining moment for us. And the permissionlessness nodes, they won out. And I am so thankful for that, because I didn't know if it was going to happen, because that was when we had the whole default happening too. I mean, we got kicked in the nuts twice, really, really hard, and very close. And we stood, we held the line. So anything I've said that gets you guys bullish, I mean, that makes me the most bullish, is the resiliency, right? Like, who's here afraid that we'll encounter a problem that we can't solve? Like, to me, it's like, man, we've got absolute badasses here. So yeah, Rujira is awesome. They just slotted right into the community. And when I started chatting with them, it's like no different from anyone else. I mean, if they had THORChain avatars, I would have thought they were THORChain. I mean, it's just, there's not a significant difference between them and us.
Yeah, 100%. And in the end, I did use the cult-ish part of the word, because what amazes me the most is that the moment that the protocol stops standing up for what the community believes, the community is not just going to stay here, oh yeah, because my bag is here, and I'm just going to support whatever happens and whatever the leadership or the nodes or whoever is making decisions goes. I'm just going to support it. It's not like that. The THORChain community, and from what I've seen, the Maya community as well, and for as proxy, of course, the Ruji community, when the protocol stops aligning with what the community wants, they are just going to leave, because it's not a cult where you just follow this profile picture and say yes to everything. No, you support it because it stands up for what you believe in. So it has to be a huge experiment and a huge thing for other people from the outside to watch how THORChain can be so strong. But the strength doesn't come from, making money or from whatever other reasons other protocols do, but because there's a huge alignment in, I'm not going to, like, these are the hills that I'm willing to die in, and the protocol is the same. So you have the protocol's back, but the protocol has your back as well, and then you can fight the same fight together. The moment that one of them disaligns, it's just not working anymore.
Right. And Alex from Maya Protocol, one of the co-founders there, he did a really good space. I think it's Cal, Khal. If I'm saying that incorrectly, I do apologize. I don't think I've ever heard it spoken. I just say it phonetically. Leodex, I think that's also, is Cal part of Leodex? I'm pretty sure. And that was a great interview, guys. I highly recommend you go check it out. Alex said what I said basically another way. And the guy, he has such a deep and profound philosophical perspective on this. And full disclosure, I've said this before many times. If, let's just say, you flip a coin and THORChain decided to go permissioned tomorrow, I'm gone. I am not loyal to THORChain because I'm emotionally connected. I love THORChain for what it represents. Okay. And it has to be permissionless because I'm interested in the solution. I'm not interested in a tribalistic brand name. Okay. So if that happens, I'm going to Maya Protocol immediately. Like there's nothing even remotely there for me if we go to a permission system, because there's only one way to do this. There's only one way. It has to be permissionlessness. And you cannot sacrifice an inch on this. If you sacrifice an inch, it all falls apart. We're going to fail. So first principles are clear. So, and it's risky what we do, right? I mean, some people I think would say that a lot of people do this because they want to make a lot of money. And just full disclosure for Rujirans or anyone else, if you're successful, yeah, you're going to make a lot of money. But most importantly for me, it's, if we don't do this, if we fail, then we're not free. Like we lose. Like your children, your family, your friends, you're all going to be subjugated eventually over a long enough time frame. I mean, look at the world, what's going on. You guys are not fools. I don't see freedom spreading. I see tyranny and pain and misery and abjection and disease and war and poverty and filth. That's what's spreading. We have to reverse that trend. It's our responsibility to do that because we know what's going on. And I firmly believe that we are going to do that. If you look historically, freedom is not it's not the way things go. Like we are the exception in a historical sense. What we have now, it's only existed for centuries-ish, okay? And people in this and listening, and people who are listening to the recording right now, they have various forms of freedom in their own country, okay? Go back in tribalism days. It was always a form of tyranny. It was a centralized strongman, a figure, a leader, right? There was no sort of democratic, republic-like values. What we have now is very rare. It is the exception. It's not, and we've had a few generations where we've enjoyed it, but do not kid yourself. Do not kid yourself. The base programming for humans is strongman. It is tyranny. It is rule by force, by violence. Okay, that is what our historical. That's what we are as a species. Okay, I think this would be an interesting topic actually to talk about. Is like the first principle, like the human condition, and why we think we are, like the epistemological, like how do we know what we know? Why do we think the way we think? Like on a very genetic level, how we react. It's something I've really studied into, and it's kind of what that's led me to THORChain, because I'm here because there's a problem. There's a very significant problem, and it's technologies like THORChain, Rujira, and others that are going to solve it. I hope I'm not repeating myself, but I feel really strongly about what we're doing here, guys. We're doing something very, very important.
Hey, Patriot. Yeah. I'd like to reset and refocus and get everybody to go ahead and quote post, tag somebody intentionally. And I'd like to acknowledge there's a Rujian on stage, the Deving Zone. And we can all perhaps agree on point of clarity, and then we can discuss what our differences are in our point of view. And in all reality, as I see it, I may be wrong, but Bitcoin is an immutable ledger that is fortified by the node operators. Okay. DeFi is, in fact, abstracting any permissions out of that, which is otherwise known as no off switch. We are a mutually assured self-preservation unit. It pays, it profits nobody to take Bitcoin or DeFi down, even if they could. This needs to be championed. This needs to be put in neon. We need to understand this and shout it from the rooftops. There's no black box. Everything's on chain with DeFi, minus the off switch. That inherently, I believe, is our value. That's what needs to be taught. The maxis need to help the normies understand whether they're going to be degenerate traders or hodl or yield farm or get loans. The options and the freedoms that this intensely deep stack that Kuji's bringing to THORChain and all the other integrated partners are yet to be properly welcomed and trained on the freedoms that are now available to them. I think that's our purpose. That's our function. That's our mission. And until we do that, we're just in a little, circular mutual admiration society, which is fine. But I'm just saying, let's get to it. Save your best lines for last. I'd like to pass it off to the Deving Zone and see what they have to say. Go Ruji.
Devin Zone, are you trying to speak right now? We're not getting any audio on your point. And well said, Shapeshift, by the way. Thank you. Yeah, I'm not getting audio yet. That's okay. Just keep trying to figure it out. I got someone else requesting to come up here.
Yeah, if we can't hear, just jump down and jump back up. I'll throw you a mic. No sweat.
Go ahead.
Now it works, right?
Yep, you're there.
Yeah, perfect. Nice to meet you. So yeah, I cannot really speak for the team because I'm not part of the team, but quite near and following Rujira ever since. So yeah, pretty exciting what's coming up. Yeah, maybe you have some question about roadmap, or I'm not used to talk to in spaces.
No, you're fine. You're doing great. Could you just give a just a general, like, where is Rujira at right now? Just a general overview, just so for people recording, because there's going to be THORChads and I don't know what you call Mocha people, Mokians. I don't know if that's right. Just give a general overview of what's going on, because I want people just to be update of all the cool things that are happening.
Perfect. Yeah. So. Yeah, now the merge is actually ongoing. So the merge contracts have been deployed, which is for Kuji, rKuji, Fusion, Unstake, Wink, and Levana. And now the people can basically IBC those assets from the Rujira chain to the Atom chain, and from there to THORChain. And then it gets recorded in those merge contracts. And in like 7 days, it's like should be on Monday the 5th, basically the decay starts. So if you migrate into these contracts after this date, you don't get the full allocation that you actually get when you get in early. And the second part is not live yet, which is the TGE, so that the Rujira token actually exists. And for the Rujira team now to actually deploy those contracts, as you may know, they are in the Thor node itself, so they need whitelists. And in 3.5, there's a lot of stuff whitelisted. So after it's whitelisted, they can basically deploy the contracts, and then we'll see which user interface comes next. So basically, staking is expected, and the whole order book trading market. So yeah, that should arrive in the next 2, 3, 4 weeks maybe. Yeah, but the team should clarify on dates. So, but you can already see some stuff on mainnet, and I also built some analytics page, which is not completed yet, but it's quite nice to see stuff now hitting mainnet.
Yeah, guys, you know, I'm not here for financial advice or anything, but you just heard it yourself. Things are going to be coming live here within weeks. And, you know, I'm just
So I have a follow-up question there.
go ahead, man.
In terms of the merge rates, just to the average, let's say like person who has interacted with Kujira, who might use one of these cross-chain interfaces like Leodex or like Mocha or like ours, what are we talking exchange rate wise? If I woke up tomorrow and was like, you know what, I want to hit the Ruji merge before that decay rate starts, is Kuji itself the best asset to do that through? Or how should I understand sort of relative decay rates and how much is allocated to each project? Not decay rates, but exchange rates.
Yeah, I mean, the exchange rates is different for each project, which have been weighted like last summer about the weights, how the new Rujira will be distributed. And for example, for one Kuchi, you will get like 0.37 Rujira if you are in normal, like in the next week. And then it starts basically decaying to 0, which is if you are in the contract, in this merge contract, you will get a little bit more than this rate because others are missing out because they are not in, right?
Got it.
So you can always leave the contract as soon the token is ready. So this is the second part. But as soon it's live, you can basically leave this contract and then you have your Rujira liquid. But then this means that the other people still in the staking pool, in the merge pool, they will get a little bit more. So there will be like game theories at play. What's the best way? Does it make sense to buy Ruchi on the Kujira on the old market and do the migrate or the merge even after decay starts? And it's just like linearly over 11 months. So if you now miss a few weeks because you're still staking your stuff, then it doesn't harm a lot. So yeah, it's pretty nicely designed. But there is a nice page of them which they show the distribution to the actual project. Basically, they've just been like weighted based on market cap.
Very cool. Thank you. I think people are at various degrees of understanding this, and I think it's all going to become clear in the next few months, and we're very excited. But what that looks like, right? Like 2 months from now, in terms of which assets float to the top, or we're going to look back and say like, ooh, this is what I should have done. So to me, that's still kind of opaque. So I appreciate the answer.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment you can't buy Ruchi itself because it's not live yet, right? There is no price for Ruchi at the moment. But you can still buy the other assets and do also the merge. And as soon as the new token is live and has a market price, then you can do theoretically an arbitrage, buying on the old system and merge it, but you cannot go back. So yeah, I think either you can buy now some and do the merge and may profit from the bonus if you stay in the contract for up to a year, or you just wait for Ruchi to go live.
Cool. Well, to those tuning in, we have 3 opportunities to buy. We have Mocha on here. We have Leodex. We have Dorito Dex. Get your Kuji while it lasts before the decay rates kick in. And I say that impartially, of course.
Hey, Dorito Dex, what's going on with you guys? Could you give us an update? What's going on over there?
Yeah. So the full website for DoritoDex.dev dropped. I just published it a few minutes ago before hopping on and seeing this DM about the space. So we have our all the information up for our router and SDK, and we are in many talks with integrators, and we're just at this exciting kind of taking off phase for our router. That will of course be a router that is connected to the Dorito token, and we're going to essentially be doing the whole swap kit THORSwap model, except we're actually going to do that. So if you know the background there, that means something to you. And if not, we have essentially a very viable revenue capture method, which is our router and SDK. And it is viable because we are providing something of real value that the market wants. And so the market wants very seamless access to not just THORChain. And I know we love THORChain, right? We come from THORChain and Maya, but the market wants the best prices and the most seamless transacting. So For us, the backends, our sort of, we think of ourselves as a cross-chain aggregator, which is really what a router is. But um, somebody who integrates with our SDK can, with their platform, they gain like 10 additional wallets that become compatible with their platform. That's a huge benefit. They get a ton more wallets and then access to THORChain, Maya Protocol, Chainflip, in addition to all 1-inch assets, in addition to all Jupiter assets. So increasingly, our tech can get them. I call it solving the "what money do you have" problem. So a user arrives to your platform, they have some type of wallet, and they have some type of money. Ideally, whatever your function is, you need to solve the "what money do you have" problem for them to use your, let's say you're in an ETH lending market or a Solana NFT marketplace. I don't know if people really do that on Solana, but the point is you need to have this interoperability and ability for almost any platform to be cross-chain. So anybody who shows up, we can give you the capability to not just accept their wallet, but also to transact very rapidly into whatever currency you intended your platform to be used with. So we are kind of the multi-chain ATM at the door of your business, so to speak. So that's what we've got. If anybody wants to see our docs, they're all out now, and people can get going with about 10 lines of code. And yeah, dude, we're super excited. It's kind of been appreciating that we are transitioning from being a DEX to being a router and SDK, like a router company, so or an aggregator. So it involves some structural changes to our team and just our week in, week out priorities. But the Dorito Dex platform still works, and you can use it with 0 fees if you hold our token. And then in addition, that revenue will be shared with the token when we turn on the fee switch. But right now we're the DEX, and the DEX is like an advertisement or a demonstration of the tech, and the tech can get you many, many assets. And the potential for this space, and this goes for all of us, for Leo Dex, for Mocha, the potential for us who are linked to these things once to me at least, once Maya integrates Zcash and we have privacy is enormous. That actually plugs a huge hole in the service we provide. So super excited for that. And yeah, I'll cut myself off there. I see Mr. Eric has a question.
Go ahead, Eric. Thank you for that, Dorito.
Yeah, man. Hey, is this Coronado behind the Dorito
Yes,
Dex
sir.
account?
Yes, sir.
Hey, what's up, man?
What's up?
So I think that what you guys are doing right now with the swap kit, and not shifting, because Dorito Dex is still like a thing and it's going to continue being a thing. But the fact that you're trying to find different avenues for THORChain and Maya to be adopted on, just like you said it, the 1-inch and the Jupiter aspect of your kit makes it seamlessly for others to integrate THORChain, maybe because they want Jupiter or they want 1-inch, but the whole combo there includes the TCM ecosystem, which is amazing. What are your plans, guys, for the next, I don't know, like 6 months? Are you going to focus more on offering this kit to non-cross-chain ecosystems, or how is that going to be done?
So agree with you there, and that's a good question. So we're looking at our positioning in the market, and obviously there are basically 2 companies that do what we do. There's us and there's SwapKit. And for current SwapKit integrators, we are basically a drag and drop replacement that breaks less often, and we just have a more responsive team. That's our shtick versus SwapKit. So hypothetically, anyone that currently uses SwapKit, we can drag and drop replace that. That said, we are not setting out with the intention of just being a SwapKit killer or just eating into their market. We see that as kind of negative sum. So I would rather grow the pie and look at, okay, what scope of like verticals and project types has SwapKit targeted? And they've been very successful, and we have a lot to learn from them. But are we going to go out there and spend 4 months trying to like steal Ledger from them? Absolutely not. We are happy for them. It's great that Ledger is using THORChain through SwapKit, and honestly, it's a huge credibility lending to our whole space. So SwapKit has gone very high level, very high end in the wallet direction. OKX wallet, Ledger, things like that. I always say, for all the complaints you hear about their service, like I don't know what my life or my company would be like if I had a Ledger contract. And so, I think they're doing the best they can. And what they have is something that is in high demand, and it's hard to service it because they have so many integrators. So what we are looking at right now, we're currently working with Voltisig. We currently have a few other, I want to say like cross-chain niche companies you would be familiar with. I'm not really at liberty to share all of them. But what we are doing is we are targeting more of the specialized cross-chain companies right now. So things that are closer to our home ecosystem and that are smaller in scale than like a Ledger or an OKX wallet. In addition to targeting DEXs versus wallets. But then beyond that, we have to think, okay, assuming that we can make many types of platforms cross-chain or multi-chain, we have to be more imaginative about like what does that mean? What could that mean? And here's like my ridiculous example, and I know it's dated and from the last market cycle, but like I could pitch our cross-chain backend to OpenSea, and like OpenSea could have a what money like a direct Bitcoin into ETH or direct Kuji into Bitcoin, like could have a direct cross-chain swap interface on OpenSea that solves the what money do you have problem. And would someone think to integrate a big NFT marketplace or choose any other sort of niche thing? I like to try to think far and wide, and like there are many applicable cases where a company could use this. For some alpha on our product direction, one of our ideas is we actually want it to be an integratable modal. So basically the ability to add a little like almost pop-up window cross-chain swap interface on any platform in the same way that you see a lot of on-ramps and stuff do plugins. So this would be a plugin that anybody could add to their platform, and this could be anything. So we're very excited about that. And I guess we want to think far and wide about like what's a wider use case than what SwapKit's been doing. There will be some overlap. We will get some unsatisfied SwapKit customers who will switch to us, but we want to think far and wide. And this space is huge. There's a lot of liquidity flowing. Everyone is needing cross-chain swaps. And ideally, if we can get towards the better tech, towards THORChain, and away from kind of these legacy bridges and stuff like that, there's just huge potential there. So that's some perspective on like what our plan is. But right now we're focusing on like a small number of very tight partners, and we want to work closely with people like Voltisig to deliver a really high quality service. And we actually have the mind to not grow too fast. We think that one of the errors with SwapKit and their growth and the quality of their service, having talked to people who have worked with them previously, is like, I think they just grew too fast and they have way too many people to service and not enough, whether it's dev resources or just people on the wire responding to all these integrators. So we believe that if we are going to integrate you, we owe you the courtesy of giving you a high quality service. And if it is not within the bandwidth of our team to service our relationship, it's ethically on us to not integrate you. So we want to grow, not conservatively, but carefully. And as we do reach greater scale and sort of network effects of integrations, we want to scale proportionally to continue to deliver high quality.
Nice. And there's a very low hanging fruit, and I'm not gonna tell you what fronts to attack, but when you look at projects that go out on Base, on Arbitrum, all of these layer twos that need to have assets swapped into their layer two for the normie to use, and this is mostly games. The first barrier to entry is that people do not have the cryptocurrency that they need in the layer that they needed. So if you focus, guys, on identifying which projects are coming out and they're going to need this service, instead of making the users go through the bridges and then waiting, and then the off ramp to the layer one usually takes from a couple of hours to 24 hours, depending on the size of the layer two, then you can actually have a huge product market fit right there. And it's going to be a very, very low hanging fruit, because you're going to solve for all of these games and mini projects going out on the layer twos for the whole on ramp for the users. So I'm really excited for what you guys are doing. And I know that SwapKit maybe doesn't have the perhaps you could call it the interest to attack these small projects, but for you guys that you might be trying to attack other niches, this might just fit right in there.
Yeah, and so consider this, Eric. I totally agree with you, and it's just there's so many applicable settings for this technology. That's why we can have collaborative kind of, there'll be some competition, but it's really, we're pushing the same tech. We're on the same, anybody who's like you guys, any other interface in addition to anyone connecting people to THORChain, like we're on the same team. We're pushing the same tech. One of the really interesting aspects is if you've ever done sales and you understand sales funnels, think about the sales funnel of every platform. If I need you to go to another website and leave my website to use my product, the drop off on that, the friction added, the amount of drop off that adds, if you need to go somewhere else and like use an ATM to then come back and use my restaurant, it's very likely that 50, 60% plus of those people are not going to come back because it's too much of a pain. So a lot of these protocols and products have an enormous funnel problem in that people are having, if you tell the average user, like you need to go find a bridge, use the bridge, wait for the bridge, some percentage of the business of somebody who wanted to use your product that day is just not going to do it. So looking at it as helping these products, not just solve like, oh, cool, we have cross-chain swaps, but literally the drop-off of people who arrive to their website can be decreased by solving the money problem in the app. So having a swap modal or us integrating a little widget into your platform, I just see that like if I was running any sort of specialized platform, like it's very important to me that you stay on my website and that the more things you can do on my website, the less likely I will be to be losing people. And I say this to wallets like Voltisig. Voltisig has extra steps required versus the average wallet experience. And it's like, okay, if you have extra friction and it's just different steps, multi-device signing, something like that, you need to be able to do as much as you possibly can inside that wallet. Like if you want to get into random Jupiter Solana tokens, like we can let you do, you should need to be able to do that right in the wallet because it is a higher friction experience. And that higher friction needing to go elsewhere will lead to drop off. So passionate about that. And we really think this is like an augmentation of products that is quite evident if you've built technology products before. I get a little long-winded, so I'm gonna pass the mic off.
Hey, and you're a very good speaker, man. I appreciate you coming up. And like I said, this is open forum. I don't really, guys. I am not interested in censorship. Anyone can come up here and they can promote themselves. I firmly believe in meritocracy, and I like what Dorito is doing. That's great. I think we should have more options, more competition, and competition breeds innovation. So this is great. So I'm very excited to hear that they're doing that. And yeah, like I said, this is open space. I don't censor people. I believe in merit, and that's it. But we do have a new speaker, and I want to make sure that they can speak here. Matt, thank you for your patience. Did you have something that you want to say? Go ahead.
Hey, I just thought I'd pop in and say hi to everyone. Really good to see so many of the great THORChain projects here. Yeah, I can see we got JP there and everything from NAMI. So no, I'm basically working as like an affiliate for a number of the THORChain projects. So Dorito, Ruji, Volt. And essentially, it's really interesting because even some of the points that some of the lads had mentioned earlier around like the services side and stuff, it's kind of like there's a lot of cool stuff happening in THORChain, and everyone seems to be building these like almost like plug and play options where me and some of the lads have set up almost like a bit of like a business consultancy organization where we sit down with people. It's called Synapse 3, and we sit down with people, understand where they're kind of getting stuck in crypto, what chains they're built in, all of that stuff, and then offer these very natural solutions that have already basically been built. Very excited for I think the most recent one I've started on is the Dorito stuff, and having the D kit and things as something to sell is like it's being able to basically sell THORChain is pretty much the most exciting thing I could imagine. So yeah, I just basically wanted to pop up and just say hi to everyone. Really nice to see so many familiar faces here.
Hey, thanks for doing it, man. I always love talking to new people. I want to talk to as many people as I can and familiarize myself. Because I said earlier in the space, I don't know if you guys are here, forming the human bond, the connection is absolutely essential in a community because everyone has an avatar, but there's always a real person behind the avatar. And they're usually really friggin' smart, probably smarter than myself. And so I love being humbled, people coming up here and chatting about what they're doing. And there's so many people doing things right now. Like there's so much stuff that's happening in the background. Like, Dorito Dex just speaking, like I learned so much, like, wow, they're doing so many cool things. So it's very exciting time, guys. So, understand that there are so many things happening that you don't even know. So if you have any bearish sentiment about THORChain or the cross-chain space, please like take a slice of humble pie and realize like, wow, so many people are just scrambling to build the best product, the best services, the best interfaces. It's happening, guys. It's happening in real time. And as you mentioned, Matt, we have a new speaker, JP Kuji, which is great. Go ahead, JP. What do you got for us?
Hello, everybody. It's a nice time to drop in. So I'll be here in like a how you can say a hybrid function. One side I'm on the Ruji team, building the station wallet there, and on the other side I'm building Nami protocol, which is the saving solution that will exist for THORChain on Rujira. So it's basically a yield optimizer. But yeah, I don't know how many updates you guys got on Ruji and what's going on. So perhaps before I continue,
Yeah. So
what's the status?
So what we got from mostly was just talking about the upgrade from Rujira to Kujira. Kujira to Rujira. I apologize. I think we got that pretty good. But if you want to talk about more or less what's coming on Rujira inside, I think that'll be very, very helpful.
Yeah, all right. So I think the most exciting thing is that I think next week, Thursday, right, we have the upgrade to 3.5. So we will finally have the first pieces into place for everybody to start experiencing Rujira beside the usual THORChain swap UI, like in brackets, but you will have the order book and the AMM that will fill the order book with orders. And yeah, you can get a feeling for how Rujira envisions the future of DeFi, to be honest. And I think I cannot mention it again. I mean, we are here in THORChain, but you cannot mention it enough, is that the accessibility DeFi gains by Rujira and THORChain, this combination is unbelievable. Like the reader was talking about it, the fraction points, right? Just think a year ahead, you will be able to build an app that will execute any kind of function on Rujira with a simple send message with the correct memo from whatever chain you choose. So let's say like the usual vision or what I see coming as soon as the app stores have a little bit more clear regulatory framework, which I hope will come under Trump here, that you can really start building apps for a single use case. Like you can say, for example, earn ETH with your ETH, and you just let the user onboard ETH on Ethereum, and he just has to sign a send transaction, and it will be deposited in our case into Nami, and it will earn. And if you want to withdraw, you do another send transaction. Like this, for me, the accessibility that we are here creating, all of us, like the people bringing the product to the users, all the front ends, but also the tech that's being built on Rujira is mind blowing. I don't know.
Yeah, dude, and I'm really glad you mentioned. Okay, guys, I'm just serious right now. Like this space is called Rising Like a Phoenix. I'm being quite literal. Okay, what is coming is absolutely mind blowing. What JP just said is absolutely incredible. I don't see how anyone can be bearish at this point. You guys, despite the failure of THORFi on THORChain itself, one thing that's undeniable was the demand. The demand was absolutely insane. And then with the tech that Rujira, what JP's building specifically, the demand is absolutely incredible. That's going to allow it's going to allow people with layer one like Bitcoin to do things that the market desperately needs. And yes, JP, what you said about Trump making things better, like that was my goal, was helping him get elected. I was so passionate about it because I knew he was pro freedom. And you guys, it doesn't matter. Let's say like I'm wrong, like Trump's this really bad, evil person. At the very least, we're going to have freedom, right? The ability to build. And like my how do I say this? My thought process was Trump's going to have freedom, and that's going to allow us to build. Let's say that's incorrect logic, like that's an erroneous like ontological tautology, but it's self-correcting, right? Because let's say Trump's not good, the fact that THORChain, Rujira, and other things are going to have now time to build, the first principles fix that problem, right? If there's a bad person. So so worst case you could say is the argument I'm making is like an inaccuracy, or maybe it's not efficient, but we're going to get there, you guys. We're going to get there. So now that we've done that, my goal now is to just push this stuff as hard as possible to let people like JP Rujirans to build. And guys, Bond your Rune. We're up to 113 nodes. We're going to get to 120. But if you hold Rune, you need to bond it. You got to add security. If you want Rune to be successful, give guys like JP the space, the security to do incredible things. Because JP, like you said, what you guys are building, it blows my friggin' mind, dude. Blows my mind.
Yeah, I think it's really something different. And just to like, I wasn't on the team on Kujira, but I was a fellow community member and started building there. But that's why I've known, especially Hans, Brad, everybody who was building Kujira before for quite some time. And you cannot underestimate that these are people that are not only in it for the tech. Like, you have a lot of people that are in it for the tech, but they care deeply about the user and the experience. So not only the end user, obviously that's what they built in their front end, in the UI, but also about the integrators, right? And this is like, I will be next week Token 2049, and I have so many meetings lined up to talk about, okay, how can we help you utilize Rujira and all of its products for your users, right? Meet the people where they want to be met. Like, what's your favorite touch point? Is it Trust Wallet and you want to use an earn function or an order book? Theoretically, Trust Wallet can offer it through Rujira. So you reduce all these friction points.
Well, I just joined in right now, and I have to say, I really love what you guys are doing. You guys are putting in a lot of hard work. I mean, you guys are, you know, are playing a major role in the crypto space, and I just wanted to, I say congratulate you guys on what you're building. I know it's a very difficult task, getting the developers and all of that to do that. But just in case though, I'm actually a developer. Uh, just learning how to use JavaScript, MongoDB, for database storage and all of that. And I also have a fancy app that I'm building. We're probably just looking for the right blockchain to launch it on or something. Um, I don't know. Maybe I might DM one of you guys. We probably might do some work together or something. But that's just all. I just want to say shout out to you guys. You guys are amazing. You're doing it right. That's all.
All right.
I appreciate you.
Sorry.
I appreciate you saying. No, you're good, brother. Don't worry about it. I appreciate you saying that, and that's so true. And guys, like I said earlier, about exponential growth. Okay, you just seeing it right now. You're seeing it right now in this space. All the different teams like Dorito Dex, and then you have Rujira. Like, if you're worried about growth, I don't know why, because there is so many teams right now that are competing and are growing, and they know what's happening, and they know what's coming. They're building, they're networking. It is absolutely incredible what's going on. This is like the growth spurt right now. All right. Growth every year has been exponential. And now it's going to go to a whole nother level when it comes to exponential growth. We have another speaker, guys. I want to make sure that they're up here. Leo Dex, welcome to the stage. Do you have something you want to add?
Hey, yeah, great space. I've been just kind of lurking in the background for a while, and this is Cal on the Leodex account. Um, so yeah, I've been just listening, but I would definitely echo on how exciting of a time this is for the whole THORChain and cross chain space. I know a lot of people looked at everything that's happened, and you have all the trolls on X saying that THORChain is dead, but when you look around at all the amazing teams that are building here, it's really obvious that the opposite is true. And I think that THORChain's had like 5+ moments like this, over the years, and every single time it's like, everyone says THORChain's dead, and then everyone kind of rallies together, and you see awesome things being built, and really point to the complete contrary of that. So I think this space has been a really good echo of that. With all the different integrators, interfaces and backends that have talked so far, and just talked about all the things they're doing. So with us, we're, with Leo, if anybody doesn't know, we have been building a social media app on chain for about 6 years now. And then over the past year, we've been building Leo Dex, which is an interface for cross chain. So kind of like a nice sister app to our social media user base. So I'm really excited to be in this space, and we've kind of just gotten started, but our interface is coming together nicely, and we just tap into the world of cross chain. So it's a really exciting time to see what's being done with Rujira and with THORChain and TCY. I think it's going to create a lot of positive economic activity that we've all been looking forward to. So yeah, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, I'm glad you actually mentioned the thing about THORChain going through rough periods. And I want to touch on that a little bit, because this is what you're going to expect when you have an ecosystem or a community that's actually trying to build things, that's actually trying to fix a problem, is that requires innovation, and innovation requires experimentation, which then requires, even before that, it requires theorizing, it requires wargaming in your mind, especially when you have a new primitive like blockchain, like code, right? This changes everything. I mean, if we're abstracting away the human element, like, why does our economic doctrine, why does it exist how it is? And, a lot of the economics are tailored around people, being greedy and having trust assumptions and insurance and, all this stuff. Code is completely different. So there's really an intellectual discussion that I find, I think about a lot, is like, what is possible now if you can abstract away the human stuff? Like Eric Voorhees says, like, code is not law, it's better than law, because there's no arbitrary aspect to it. It just does exactly what it's supposed to do. Like a judge ruling on a case, there can be some ambiguity there, or they can have their own personal biases, right? Not that with code. And so, yeah, LeoDex is correct. We've made some mistakes. But like I said, if we're serious about fixing this problem, if we're serious about it, then we're in the arena and we have to try new things. And now, if you guys are worried about it, I don't think you should be. I think THORChain's experimentation days are becoming largely over. Like, we've done the experiments, we've run the models, we've seen how it works, we've seen how it works. And yeah, it was a little painful, but here we are. Here we are, ready to go, ready to kick some ass. It's like the UFC back in the day, that is a fighting organization, right? Like, we have all these different types of fighting. You have karate and all these different things. And, you throw these guys in the arena and you figure out what fighting styles are actually the best. And there's no more romanticism. There's no more, ego. Like, you get humbled in the arena, and THORChain's been humbled a few times. LeoDex, you had your hand up first. Go ahead.
Yeah, I like what you said about the experimentation days kind of being in the rearview mirror. I think I've been in THORChain for a really long time as an investor, just kind of in the background before we started building recently. And one thing I've always, thought about THORChain is that it should be like the Bitcoin of cross chain. It should be, a little bit more slow moving, a little bit more, just robust and focus on, infrastructure. And I think we're finally seeing, that movement on THORChain, where the focus is on, adding XRP and adding other, coin and chain integrations, and then letting things like Rujira build the app layer and build kind of like a sort of layer two type of experimental solution for a lot of different things that we all want to see, like perps. So I'm definitely a believer in keep THORChain more basic and just make it like that massive ship that doesn't move so quickly, and just focus on doing what it does really well.
Well said. And that's why I'm so excited about Rujira. Rujira, they are truly the experts when it comes to the more innovative, DeFi primitives. And we tried our best. But it's clear being on the base layer is the incorrect. That's first principle error, is the wrong way to go. You should have an app layer. And that's a good segue to JP. Go ahead, JP.
Yeah, you said something about DeFi narratives, I think, and I just wanted to pick your guys' brain about something. I was talking to the guys that are building the index product on Rujira. So basically, I mean, an index product, I guess, is clear. You have a collection of assets that is represented by a token. And we were just gambling around with the combination of Rune and TCY. I was thinking, like, can we do something with Rune and TCY? Is there something fun to be built? And we came up with the idea, or they came up with the idea to create an index over Rune and TCY, which basically, if it rebalances automatically, can represent something like a liquid staked Rune in brackets without systemic risk. I just wanted to pick your guys' brain on it. Here are so many super brains. What are the thoughts on this?
This is something where I actually default to other people, because this is something that I try to think about a lot, because as a problem as someone who's not a developer like myself, I try to understand the behaviorism of code. Like, a narrative and the actual behaviorism, there's always seems like the differential there, and that's not. But if it is something that's on the app layer, I don't see why.
Yes.
Like you said, there's no systemic rest. Like that's really the first principle thing. It's like I've come to the opinion. It's like almost like a law of thermodynamics. No form of leverage on any base layer is probably ever a good idea. There's always going to be systemic risk if you leverage your base layer. It just does not work. It's like a law of the universe. You create counterparty risk, you upset the game theory. And so if it exists on the app layer, I don't really see a problem with it, honestly.
It's perhaps like a little explanation. What it would mean is like you have no leverage involved at all. What it would mean is like you invest, you join a vault, let's call it a vault, that has a set ratio of Rune to TCY. Let's say you put in 90% Rune and 10% TCY. And as TCY has a price and Rune has a price, this ratio is always kept automatically rebalancing through on-chain actions. But what TCY enables is that because you hold it, even if we're right, like correct me, because you hold it, you get the Rune, right? The yield of TCY. So the contract gets the Rune. And this means you have the 90-10 portion and the Rune is growing. And depending on the price movements, you rebalance, either you buy more TCY or you buy more Rune, and you keep the balance, and you can like get yield on your Rune without needing to do anything on the base layer regarding staking, bonding. Yeah, that was the idea. So no leverage at all.
Sounds badass, man. Fuck yeah, build it. Let's see what happens. I love it, man. For it, you know?
I'll give it to them.
Yeah, like I don't like. I just want you guys to build all kinds of stuff, and let's just see what works. Like spaghetti against the wall, and to again, not to risk repeating myself, guys, but this is why it's so important to bond your Rune. Or you're might want to add it to what JP might build there, but let's give these guys security so they can play. So they and they've already had Rujira was already running, so they already have a good idea of what's in demand and what not. But I really want to maximize the space these guys can build and ship on THORChain. So bond your Rune, please.
Lovely, guys. We'll head out. Thank you.
Hey, thanks for coming, man. I appreciate it. Leo Dex, your hand's raised, but it might be a glitch. But do you have anything you want to say?
Oh, I think it just might be a glitch from last time.
That's the thing. That's what it is, man. That's like friggin' X Spaces. So, but yeah, if there's anyone up here on Space that wants anything to add, we've covered a lot of ground here, a lot of moving parts, guys. If people in the audience or people are listening to this recording are not excited, I don't know why. We have so many cool things going on right now. And again, the important thing I would encourage every developer, whether it's Dorito, Ruji, Leo Dex, I don't care, Mocha, is just put your head down and build and ship. Be emotionless, stoic, just, work as hard as you can. This is the time. This is a very crucial 3.5 year bracket right now where we really have to deliver. We really have to push hard. And, I think Nine Realms understands that. I think THORChain understands that. So let's do it, you guys. Like, this is our moment to shine. Let's bring it home. THORChain is rising like a phoenix, but so is everyone else. Okay. The room to grow is massive, massive, massive. Again, remember, relatively speaking, we are still so small. We are still small relative to the population of people that do not use blockchain technology or people who use centralized exchanges. We have to pull the people away from there, and we are, because our technology is better. This is not a flex of ego. It's not me exaggerating. It is just the raw truth. We have the 0 to 1 innovations in our hands. We just have to build it. We have to tell people about it, and we have to get. So let's get it, guys. Let's do this thing. Okay. If anyone else has any other topics they want to discuss, or if anyone wants else to come up, we can do that. I think I've covered the ground of what's going on in the THORChain space. You guys heard from Dorito. Oh, we got a request here. Let's see here. Oh, shapeshift. Okay. You got kicked off. Oh, Legend just coming. Hey, Proof of Steve. No, don't feel the pressure to come up or anything, but Proof of Steve, he's one of those. I want to give people a shout out. He was one of those guys that when things were going really bad, we had a long, like, marathon, well, not a marathon, but like 3.5 hour space where we figured things out in real time. And he's a really good guy. Proof of Steve is a very smart man, as well as everyone else in here. You guys are all very smart. And again, I always want to exercise my appreciation for you all because I didn't save THORChain, Proof of Steve didn't save THORChain, Nine Realms didn't save THORChain. We all saved it together. Okay. And Alex, of course, was a massive help with his Prop 6. So you guys are absolute legends. And I'm just so happy people here. I really want people in this space. Like if you hold THORChain, if you're part of the ecosystem, yes, I want to liberate the world. That's my primary focus. I hope I don't sound like, I don't know, annoying or egotistical when I say that, but I also want you guys to make lots of money too. Because you're all great people, you all have families, and you've all worked so very hard. And honestly, if you deliver something that makes the world a better place, I think you should be rewarded financially in a very significant manner. So I'm going to keep doing this. We're all going to keep working together. I'm going to try to have spaces every week, guys. Kenton usually does this with me. He's on vacation right now. I'm thinking he'll be here next week, and you guys know how great Kenton is. Butterfly, love her. She's great. She had something come up, so she couldn't do this. But if anyone else wants to do spaces with me or anything like that, more the merrier. Or do your own spaces or your own topics. I will support you. The important thing is to keeping the engagement up because as Baloney Bone said in the very beginning of this space, the community is really important. So we have to invest in our people. Eric, go ahead. Eric, you're muted if you're trying to speak right now.
Yes, sorry, the cat was fighting the dog right now.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry. Hey, so I have an idea. So there's this new streaming platform that is getting a lot of mindshare, and I'm just gonna send you a DM about it. But it would be amazing to have streams, like for example, if you're comfortable with camera, and Jane and Kenton as well, we could stream that in that blockchain, which I will not mention because I don't want to share anything before it's approved, or if you want to jump in. But it would open up the audience a lot, so that more people can learn about THORChain. Because I think that's one of the things that we're lacking. The community, the existing community is hardcore, and they believe in everything we're building, but we need fresh audience, and I think that attacking these kind of platforms are net positive for THORChain and the TMC ecosystem.
Yeah, I think you're right. Because I watch a lot of the spaces with Lush because he webcams himself, and I've webcam myself many times. I've talked, I have no problem. I've talked with Dash. I've done live interviews and stuff. I've done things with Jade. Crypto is my jam is her tag. So yeah, I don't mind that at all. I think that's a really good idea. It's just something that I don't have a lot of experience in. So I'd be very willing to learn that and how to stream to multiple platforms at once. I used to do stuff like that back in the day, but I've been a little out of it. So I need a refresher. But yeah, I'd love to do that. And I don't mind being on the camera at all. I'm not sure if Jane's comfortable with that. Kenton is fully doxxed, as you guys know. I'm doxxed as well. So I don't care. And I think that's right, because having people live stream that, it adds a human element to it. And like you said, I think it would draw eyes to us from multiple people. So I think that's a really good idea. So yeah, I'll definitely check out your DM.
Yeah, and
I gotta correct you,
Go ahead.
Patriot. Forgive me, but the next time you say you don't care, you can stuff it because you care and it's flagrantly obvious. If you guys don't remember anything else from this damn space, remember THORChain was made agnostically, and the devs made hundreds of thousands of lines of code, making us flexible for the node operators to adapt or adopt any emerging technology. We should be inclusive. We're not here to fight each other. We're here to fight those that want to offer us permission because we don't need it anymore. Sorry to cut you off. Forgive me,
you're
brother.
Good. I don't remember what I said, but you were well said. So I'm more than happy to adopt what you said there. Yeah, that's totally fine. Yeah, THORChain was built with really good first principles. That's something that you can build upon, and that's what we're seeing right now. With Dorito Dex and all the different integrations, and amazingly now Rujira just brings Rujira takes it to a level 100. Level 100. I mean, it's just wild. Hearing Pragmatic Monkey or JP or Hans talk about it, it blows my mind. I think I understand, and then I realize I don't fully understand the capability and the true potential. So we're so early. And like I said, no, I don't do financial, like do price talk or anything like that, but you can bet your ass I'm accumulating right now. Go ahead, Eric. Oh, Eric, you're no longer a speaker, but your hand's up. I don't get it. Okay. X does these things. Let's see here. Yeah. Well, I just feel like the longer you go in these X spaces, they get more and more unhinged, and like the the software underneath just starts breaking. So as you get to like the second or third hour mark, just weird things happen. I think you're requesting to come up. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Yeah, guys, exciting things happening. We're doing really, really well. We shouldn't rest on our laurels. We should still try to execute. We should act like we're losing right now. We should act like we're dumb and we don't know what we're doing. And we should be really insecure, and we should just execute. That's the best mind fit. Don't get ahead of your skis here. Go ahead, Eric. Are you able to talk now?
Yes, I think I'm able now. Sorry about that. I got disconnected. But yeah, I was just going to double down a little bit, because when you give with the Coke content creators the tools to have more interesting content out there by having live streams and by having other tools that can reach out to more people, then the content that they create for THORChain is going to be more interesting for the audience. So I think it's just a very low hanging fruit to live stream every THORChain spaces and then let other people restream that on their own channels, cut whatever they want and create shorts, etc., etc. So I think that we could be like, Kenton is going to do a lot of marketing, but I think that if we live stream these spaces, we're just going to give a lot of content for everyone to do their own marketing, and like memes say, just work for their backs.
Solid idea. I totally agree. And I'm going to get with Kenton's on vacation right now, but I'll get with him. And even if we do the live stream, like if someone's not wanting to, show their face, they can not have their webcam on, but at least we'll be on the interface where we'll have people on webcam, and then we'll have like real faces talking and interacting. And I think that's a great idea. I don't have anything else to add to what you're saying. It's just a solid idea. And I will commit to exploring that with you. And I think it's great. So absolutely. Because I want to improve the engagement as much as possible. Because what we're building here is bonkers. It's absolute bonkers. And the moment people are going to figure it out, I think we're going to see a growth spurt like we've never seen. I mean, it's really good stuff. And very thankful we got to this point. Thankful for all the battle scars that we have. I'm thankful for all the community members that stuck with it. And I'm hoping a lot of people have been hurt or are a little jaded, and that's understandable. It's been a rough slog. I'm hoping that now we'll get them back. We're able to mend some wounds here, and just being honest about the struggles we've had to endure, and then just executing from here on out. So that's what it is. We don't hide from our mistakes. We embrace our mistakes, and we do our best not to repeat them. Okay, guys, let's see. We're going on to a little over 2 hours here. I don't mind continuing going further, but I don't really have much else to say unless someone wants to bring up any other topics. I'm totally fine with that. But I really think we've covered a lot of ground.
Hey, Patriot.
Go ahead, Shapeshift.
I'd like to do a fact check test. I may have smashed my invite button too hard. If anybody wants to grab the mic, again, please go ahead and hit it, or tell me if you haven't received an invite, because if so, I broke my invite button. Or if you don't wish to speak, you can DM me and I'll be your mouth. Feel free.
Yeah, it's just the X, man. I can't even see comments or anything. So it's so interesting how I don't know the code behind X spaces, but it must be the pinnacle of human achievement, because we have not seen much of an improvement for years now. I don't know if they're building an entirely new system and they're just going to straight up replace this thing. I hope so, because it is brutal.
Well, I'll go ahead and tell you right now, and I'm not guessing, because Elon stated it himself. His business model for all of these companies are, in fact, data companies. So he's amassing metadata.
Yeah,
we can pretend otherwise, or we can stick with DeFi and decentralized AI, of which is offered on Shapeshift via Morpheus or Venice.ai, which is uncensored, and all queries are limited to your browser. They do not collect data in the open code. You can read it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
So
that's probably right. And
FYI.
I was, because I remember him speaking about making X into like kind of like a YouTube-esque like platform where there's people live streaming more and doing, having all the tools to do that. So we'll have to see how that goes. But if no one else has anything else to add, I think we might want to wrap it here. But I think we covered a lot of ground, guys. Oh, we do have someone who requested. Let's get them up. Like I said, I don't mind. Keep going. Crypto Italia. Okay, very good. All right, this will be fun. Okay.
Troll
It's
Supreme.
okay. No, it's fine. Crypto.
Oh,
yeah,
I love Italia. We're probably related. We're probably related.
Crypto Italia, what you got for us, man?
Hi, hello everybody. I know many people don't like me, and that's fine. I'm not really bringing much hate back on this call. What I want to say is just a suggestion to stop to block people out of social media and protocol channels, because if you aim to build a decentralized protocol, you need to have any voice represented of the community. So silencing people is just wrong. And moreover, people don't have access basic information after the TOR5 failure to get them even TCY token. So if you block them because they criticize you doing, you just prove you failure the second time after the TOR5 failure. So I think you need to revise your politics on banning people and stop to be so aggressive with people who criticize the protocol, because actually many people was right when TOR5 was deployed, and Barford and even people who was versus JP craziness, and they was all banned out. Whatever you say, you got banned, and that's not the way. I think that's my intervention.
Yeah,
Thank you.
No, that's. I think I'm glad you said that because, and I think people know, like on the Telegram, I do my best to be censorship. I don't believe in censorship. Like I invited you up here, Crypto Italia, and I want to hear all voices. I want to hear all opinions. It's very important. Not worried about criticism, and in fact, when you ignore criticism and you ban people, you actually make it worse. Because it reeks of insecurity and it gives credence to what they say. So when people come up here, I want them to say the harshest, meanest thing about THORChain, and we need to be open about it and just address it in real time. I firmly believe.
Yeah, but I was banned just last week. I was banned from the main THORChain account again, the second time. So I don't think is that the way to go, guys.
Yeah.
Do what you want, but you need to accept and moderate. Enroll more moderation. I mean, you don't have to end up to saying like, "Oh, you idiots, bad word." I agree. You can mute them. You can mute someone, but you cannot ban. I mean, that's a basic rule for a decentralized project. Otherwise, you're gonna look like a scam one.
Yeah, I think that's fine, and that's true. And you got to keep in mind, I don't have control of the main THORChain account, so when you say you, it is a particular person, someone who I don't know. And that's the thing with a decentralized organization. You will have something bad that happens, and it's very important not to take a bad event and then superimpose it over an entire community. And that's why I wanted to bring you up, because I want you to say what you have to say and get it out there, and so people can hear it. Right? That's what I want. I agree with you, and I don't have a problem with that whatsoever. So
I need to cut you off and send respect and love to Crypto Italia, for he is in fact next level toxic troll status. and I admire his passion and remind him that we are all beings made of flesh and bone with fragile little egos. So bear that in mind. We all need to think before we speak or suffer for our words. I don't know about in other countries, but we have freedom of speech in America, yet we still suffer for our words.
True.
So,
People,
God bless you, sir.
Thank
It's good
you.
to hear your voice.
You
You sound
too.
good. You sound good.
yeah.
You too. I believe conversation in the centralized project is the fundamental. Otherwise, we're gonna end up like banks where there are a structure where the apex, the top decide what people can say, cannot, and so on. We know the structure, and it's supposed THORChain was basically fighting against it. I get that the structure and decentralized, but actually, I think it fell on the same mistake where centralized financial structure did. Sorry. But that's my opinion, and I hope you take it as a suggestion.
Yeah, and
Thank you, Shapeshift.
and your words here have been recorded and they will exist forever. And I always, like I said, guys, and I like criticism. I don't try to have emotions. Like if someone thinks I'm doing a bad job or I could do something better, I want you to tell me, because if I'm ignorant of something or I'm doing something incorrectly, it serves no purpose to me or the community or anything I'm trying to do by doing something inefficiently or incorrectly. So I am open to harsh rebukes immediately, and I like to learn and amend my behavior as possible. So I think that's like the most optimal way to think. You have to like craft your brain. You have to get your, your algorithm correct. If your algorithm is good, then you will be a successful human being. If you get too emotional, then it doesn't work. But okay, guys, I think that's a good way to end it right there. We're doing very, very well, you guys. THORChain's rising like a phoenix. We're all rising like a phoenix. So happy to hear Dorito Dex is building. I'm glad to see Leo Dex to join us. Awesome, guys. And thank you for those who came up to give updates about Rujira. We have so many great catalysts going. Our node count is going to hit 120 soon. We have security space for Rujira to get the ground running. You guys have listened to this recording. You've heard what people have had to say. You know what's being built with Mocha and everything else and Maya protocol. This has just been a wonderful time. And this is still the very, very beginning. Don't doubt it for a second. We still have so much more to do, so much more to grow, but we're going to change this world forever. What we're building right now is going to do so good. And I'm so blessed to be part of this community and to talk and interact with you all. And shout out, and guys, I'm going to be, I don't know if people are going to BTC Las Vegas. I've met many people in real life. I want to keep that going. I've met Dorito Dex, Coronado. I've met him, great guy. Met him at Rear Evo. I've met Zay from Mocha. I've met Alex more than once. A lot of Nine Realms. I want to meet you too. Proof of Steve, I know you're far end of the world, but dude, you're a great guy. I'd love to meet you at some point. I know it's a big ask to go to Las Vegas, but if you guys can, come to Las Vegas. Let's hang out. I know Kenton's probably going to be there. I think Jane's going to try and make it too. So let's team up. Let's promote. Let's let Bitcoiners know what we're building here, especially on the Rujiran side. I mean, swapping is cool, but they can technically do that on a sex level, right? I mean, they're kind of comfortable with it is, but if they're true to their Bitcoin roots, then being self-custody and no KYC and freedom, then they should slot really nice in not only the THORChain Maya protocol, but also Rujira too. And then letting them know what Mocha's building, like you want to buy something with your Bitcoin, you want to buy a car, dude, like Mocha gives that ability. They go to a car dealership, slow block time, maybe on Bitcoin, but it doesn't matter when you're at a car dealership, right? Like we have so much education to do. And we're going to do it, especially with Eric's idea of live streaming this stuff. So let's get it going, guys. Great job, everybody. Keep it going. Thank you, Crypto Italia, for coming up. Shapeshift, Dorito, everyone else, Eric, with the Coke. You're the man. Appreciate you. And Leo Dex and everyone else, guys. So I hope you have a blessed Sunday, or if it's Monday where you live already. Thank you guys so very much. And let's kick some ass. Let's fucking go, right? So Let's do it.
Let's grow. It's a pleasure, everybody. Have a great rest of your weekend. We're going to get it. It's going to be a huge summer.
You damn right it is. You damn right. Don't doubt it for a second. We have the wind on our sails. Let's kick some ass. All right, guys. Have a blessed day. Thank you.
This space was downloaded via spacesdown.com. Visit to download your spaces today.